let's move over to our next segment. So we'll discuss more about how to consolidate cards in order to buy grails, and a bit about your story as a collector. So uh, let's start off with this. I think you can probably tell ever since, let's say, sports cards got really, really hot, as in at least locally, the past year. Um, a lot of people came in, but some people have already
The
left. Like I mean, there's still people coming in, but it wasn't like the time back then where it was just a huge influx. And then
yeah.
now it's sort of there's people coming in, there's also people leaving. So at this point in time, a lot of people have come and gone in the hobby. So, what about you? What makes you stay?
Mm, that's actually pretty easy to answer. I just love the sport.
Sir.
Anything that involves basketball, like I'm in.
Nice, nice.
Whether it's local, the UAP, the NBA, I just love the sport. So more so than the money involved, like the money's it's nice, yeah.
Yeah,
Pero
it's a bonus.
like at the end of the day, it is a lucrative hobby, and it's something we all enjoy doing. So that's what keeps me in, like more so than anything else. I just love the sport. That's it.
Okay, follow up to that. Because a lot of people love basketball, obviously, but a lot of people express it differently. Some people
Right.
love fantasy, some people
Yeah.
love cards, some people love odds, some people are into Top Shot. In your case, why cards in particular, or if you're into any of the others, why those amongst the rest?
Mm, as for cards, it's just the trip down memory lane. Like as a kid, like going into a store. Actually, it was possible pa talaga before to walk into a store and buy a pack or a box.
Yeah.
So that's something I used to do like on a regular basis. Like I'd ask my dad, like, Dad, buying 180. Bili lang akong cards. At the time, it was that cheap, dude. It was that
Oh
cheap.
Yeah.
my god.
180. Like, I wouldn't even
Yeesh.
go to the hot spots before there were Galleria and Green Hills.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I'd
Not
actually
the
just buy
hotspot.
from Hobbs, if
Mhm.
you know of the store Hobbs and Lands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
So they
god, the dudes
actually
are there.
sell cards and
Oh,
repacks there before. So yeah, as a kid, like that's what made my weekend. Opening a pack,
right.
buying singles. So now it's just I'm able to relive that all over again, but of course, with a different
Yeah.
spending
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, yeah. Man, that man, I can imagine that because me personally as a breaker, man, I'm ripping packs every almost,
Yeah,
and like I'm so happy already and so excited to see what's in it, even if it's not for me. Like I know I'm giving this to someone else, but
yeah,
kid, and like what can I get? I could get, and it's not even like oh my god, I could get an auto or I could get a 1 of 1. It's like man, I just want a LeBron, I just want a Kobe, I just want a D Wade. Oh man,
yeah.
imagine.
At the time, like I didn't even know the difference between retail and hobby. Like I really didn't care. I just
For
bought
sure,
whatever was there.
for sure.
I think the top brands were Panini just came in, like literally just came in at the
Mm,
time.
Right.
So
2012.
yeah,
Yeah.
2012 ish. So it was Rookies and Stars. Uh, my memory fails
yeah,
me
yeah,
at this moment. So
yeah.
that was one of them. They were all pretty low end to start, and then the bad thing was I actually didn't like it that much. Like I was more inclined towards Upper Deck at the time.
Mm.
I see.
So when Panini came in, may parang medyo na dismaya ako. But uh, I actually eventually stopped collecting, which much to my dismay, like I shouldn't have. I stopped
Yeah.
collecting for a really long time, and then I got back just recently.
Was it like 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
No, like just a few months before the whole NBA restart.
Okay, I see.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah.
just
And that's
been a
recent. Yeah,
little,
that's hella
yeah,
recent.
yeah, it's hella recent.
Same, I think, around that time for me.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was the time when a lot of people were starting to take notice of sports cards and how lucrative it could be. So I also like
Uh,
sort of
yeah,
saw na, uy, grabe yung pera dito.
yeah, for sure.
Matry nga.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, the way I took notice for with regards to the sports card market was through IG. Like I just saw someone post a story, and then the moment I saw that, like it was about this card being worth X amount. And then the moment I saw that, I was like, "Oh shit, where are my cards? I need to find them like right now."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yun, hinalungkat ko from my cabinet, and I found my album like completely intact,
Uh-huh. Oh
completely
my
intact.
god.
Everything was there. So
Yeah.
that's where I started my capital. I
Mm,
sold
okay.
everything I had. I sold
Yeah,
everything I had, and then I was like, okay, let's try this again. Like I'm gonna get into this again. Let's do it. Like, but this time for the enjoyment and the money.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the time, like a 13-year-old kid, like
Right, right. And we
ibang
didn't
usapan
know
yun eh.
that
Yeah, we
time, you
didn't
know?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah.
Had I known lang na, the rookies were the most important things to have. Grabe.
Diba?
Shit. Siguro.
Oh my god.
Facts, facts.
Fun fact, I used to collect GUs.
Okay.
Mm.
So before I got into being a Thunder fan, I was actually a Richard Lewis fan, if you guys know him.
Rashard Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shot
Yeah,
three
yeah.
Orlando.
Yeah. So I was, dude, he was my favorite
What?
player. He was my favorite player. And then he completed a sign and trade for the Magic at the time. And then we drafted KD. So I was like, okay, KD's my guy. And then
Okay.
the Sonics rebranded to the Thunder. And I've been a Thunder fan ever since.
Mm.
I'll
Man,
prove it. I'll prove it to you, bro.
go. For sure.
Who
Rashard
has
Lewis.
this? This is a
Dude, this
Steven
bro,
Adams.
Is that
guys,
Steven
guys.
Adams?
Yeah.
Keats collects
Wow.
is a Steven Adams like fanatic, guys. You
Wow.
should
Yeah.
And it's in
This
collection
guy's
of
my
Steven
the
favorite
Adams.
player. This guy's
it's in
my
the
favorite
old
player.
PSA case
Man,
pa.
Yeah. Old BSA case.
he's gonna go
Just had
down
to have
history,
it.
man. One of the toughest screeners in the game. Yeah.
Dude, it's hard to be a Thunder fan because all of our stars have come and gone. Like we
Right.
had Durant, then we had Harden and Westbrook, and of course we gutted it out with Russ, but then it didn't play out well. So right now our guy is Shea. So of course I'm into Shea also.
Yeah, for
Hey.
sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we, are
What do
we going
you
on that Dort? How about the Dort wave?
Dort, parang wala pa naman siyang true rookie card ata. So I don't have one yet.
actually?
But yeah, I have a lot of Steven Adams. This is just part of my personal collection. Like it's not something I'm looking to sell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Quick side note. For you, speculate, just pure speculation. What do you think is SGA's ceiling as a player in the league? Because for me, I recently started an SGA PC as well.
yeah.
So yeah, of course I have my answer, but you can start first.
Um
Like if you were to compare to someone, maybe as a
dude,
ceiling.
he's one of a kind. There's actually a ton of absurd stats with regards to his game. He averaged the most number of drives. So of course his ability to get to the rim is not in question. He can make shots for himself, he can make shots for his teammates. Uh as far as a player mold, nothing screams at me as a direct comparison. But yeah, the dude's crazy, man.
And he plays smooth as well.
Yeah, so
Plays
he
smooth.
plays at his own pace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I like about him.
yeah.
Right?
And then I just saw this weird stat earlier. 87% of his
Oh
points are unassisted.
yeah.
Yeah,
So all of them
so
are
imagine,
ISOs.
yeah, ISO, like how hard the guy has to work, and he averages 23 a game, diba?
Yeah.
Or you get him like a better second guy, or make him year 1B, and then the Thunder are automatically like a contender.
And they're It's
with
facts.
all the assets also.
That's facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, career wise, like, okay, like I'm kind of sad because I was expecting a mail day today,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't arrive. I think it's coming
That
tomorrow.
feeling.
It's fresh from the states. Pretty sad it didn't arrive today because I wanted to show it if ever.
Sure.
It was a SGA National Treasures RPA.
Mm-hmm.
Spent a lot of money on it. I
Sure.
think one of my biggest purchases because it's a National Treasures. But um, I mean, realistically, as of now, I feel like career wise, he could be on the wave of like kind of like the Jalen Browns and Zach Levine's like first time All Star maybe next year, and
Mm-hmm.
then maybe hopefully consistent All Star from there. Yeah, I don't need him to be like the next Luca, naman or anything, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel
because
like
he's his own player.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he'll grow into his own. But yeah,
I
And
actually think
yeah.
higher of him.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just my bias as a fan of the Thunder.
He's a Kentucky boy. You
Yeah.
know what they say about Kentucky boys? They build hard workers there. It's basically
He
what they.
was slept on in the draft also.
Uh-huh.
I was really happy when we traded for him because I don't like Paul George.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Pandemic P.
Yeah.
See, I see. So yeah, just going back, we talked about how you started collecting at a very young age, but then you eventually took a long break, got back recently, around last year.
Mhm.
And so for sure, you're gonna have a lot of base cards. On top
Yeah.
of that, like in the past year, like you've joined breaks, you joined my breaks. So for sure, you're gonna have a shit ton of base cards, and in the hobby world, we call that puchu. You
Yeah.
know, we call that puchu. And personally, as a box breaker, I feel like some players really don't put any value to the puchu cards, which I understand, obviously. I mean, they could see it as, some people call it garbage, some people call it basura, whatever, puchu. But I mean, sometimes the pooch, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Me myself, I just sold a ton of Puchu cards recently. I sold 200 cards and a bunch of other cards to buy a grail, which is actually from you. I bought it from Joaquin Anareta,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you.
2019 Kobe Silver, and I
Thank
sold.
you for your purchase.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, how about you, man? Do you have a story when you sold like? Because I saw your stories. Like I saw your stories, and you told me that you just had a ton of shoe boxes of Puchu cards, like shoe boxes full of Puchu cards, and you sold them, I think. And I don't know what you did, but yeah, you have a story about that.
um, Actually, me selling those cards to the ton of base, it wasn't to fund another purchase, but rather to just liquidate. And then what am I gonna do with that naman, diba? So might as well just sell it. So I got a good amount out of it considering the volume. But
Mm.
uh, on another scale,
Mm.
as far as like flipping low end,
Uh-huh.
it's something I do a lot. Like I sell a lot of low end. How would you classify low end? Probably something less than $100. Yeah,
okay.
so that's something I sell a lot of, and then I take profits from those, consolidate it to buy a bigger card. Because a lot of people can overlook it, but then let's say you put in 1,000 pesos, you sell something for 1.5. It's 50% return. Like it's not to be
Right, right,
overlooked.
For sure.
right.
And then you just pool those funds, buy something bigger, set yourself up for a bigger return.
Right.
And yeah, that's for me. That's one of the most important things with this hobby. Is you have to keep selling, you have to keep buying, because the moment you stop buying, you stop making money. I mean, I'm of the opinion you don't just buy something and then wait for it to hold. I mean, you hold on to it and
Yeah,
just wait
yeah,
for it to explode.
yeah.
Because let's say by the time like you 5x your money on that specific card, you would have gone through so many cycles of drops and
Right,
increases
right.
and drops and increases.
And
You could have
you
just
didn't write
taken
that.
your yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
you could have
yeah.
just taken your
That's true.
profit like early on and then uh, did it again and again and again and again,
Right,
it's
right,
really
right.
easy to buy back in, especially if you're talking about the more common cards, or
I see,
like
I
what you were
see.
saying, the base, like base
Mm,
rookies,
mm,
stuff that's easier to find, kahit graded.
mm.
You just buy and sell and buy and sell again and again, rinse repeat.
I see, I see. Man, I like that point that there's so many cycles that go up and down, and
Yeah,
you just really need to know like how to write it properly and to sell it at the right time to get an ROI.
yeah,
Uh, Especially some people, I think they just want to sit pretty. Like, oh, should I have
yeah,
maybe next week I'm gonna get like twice my money back. That's not gonna happen.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious. Like, yeah, to your point, a lot of people. It's okay here. I would say it's easy to buy cards, but it's much harder to sell.
Hmm.
Because like you can
Right.
buy technically, literally anytime you want. Of course, there's better opportunities than others with regards to timing, but selling is a bit trickier. Like sometimes, let's say 50% return. It's not bad at all. Like it beats stocks, it beats most other
Yeah.
stuff. And then people are like, "Nah, I want a 2x, I want a 3x." So
Hmm.
like, what's your target or what's your goal with regards to selling? Because it's different for some people, like case to case basis.
For me, it's purely situational. Like, let's say you put in just for purposes of giving a figure. Let's say I put in 1,000 pesos,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next day someone wants to buy it for 1,2. Sige, just
Yeah.
buy something else with 1,2.
Right, right,
That's
right.
fine, right? And just do it
Yeah.
again and again and again.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like a bigger card, I'd say I'd want at least like 50 to 100%.
Makes sense. So you sit on some cards longer than others. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
all right.
Especially my the rarer stuff, because you can look at the player kasi and think like his market is down, but then in reality you're just looking at his prism stuff.
Right, right.
Whereas the rest of his stuff is like way up, especially for a guy like Luca, Zion. The base is up and down all the time. Pero the shorter print, the case hits, the RPAs, they're all crazy. So if you have something rare, I believe that's what you hold on to, and then use like the base, the high graded base, and whatever silvers. That's what you flip.
All right, all right. So man, I'm really curious to see what's behind you, man. Like that I've been staring at that this whole episode, but then yeah. I just want to ask, man. So I mean, I see some RJs there. I see some Giannis.
Yeah, yeah.
You did say earlier that you're an OKC fan, so I'm sure you have a pretty sweet OKC PC. But who else is in your PC right now?
Mm, I can say I'm pretty diversified because
Okay.
my biggest wins were actually on Kobe.
Mm,
I got into Kobe around November, December.
okay.
So that's pretty early, like
Yeah, yeah.
way before like his stuff shot up. So back to what you were saying, kanina, like if I've ever consolidated like these cheaper cards to buy a big card, I sold a bunch of rookies of guys like Keldon, Bol, RJ Barrett. And then I bought the BGS 9.5 Clear Metal Rookie of Kobe for $400.
Wait, okay.
That's
It
not
was
bad. That's not
Four
bad.
hundred
compared
dollars.
to the price now, or like,
Yeah,
was that a cheap price or?
dude, I sold it like the next month for 1.7.
Woo!
All
so
right, all
so
right.
it was a mix. It was a mix of luck, but at the same time, at that time, I was looking at the disparity of price between LeBron and Kobe. And then I just thought that Kobe has so much more to climb. I was like, why is this so cheap? Like 20K for a BGS 9.5 rookie? That's cheaper than some of the current players that haven't done anything, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right,
So it makes so much sense, diba?
And it's
that's right.
clear metal. Clear
Yeah,
metal.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 You got that right now?
Oh no, I sold it already.
Oh, joke lang. I'm sorry.
If I'm not mistaken, that's way, way, way less pop than his Topps rookie cards.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. It
yeah.
is.
Because
And
hold on.
Good. So, so you're gonna show us some of your pieces, yeah?
is this gonna get cut?
Nah,
Yeah, look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
I remember getting this
Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
around the same time. Tops
Oh yeah.
RCP is A9. I think around the same time, probably as you did, November, December ish. And it was, I saw it was like 20K. And I was like,
Yeah.
20K for a Kobe rookie
Kobe,
card.
yeah.
I was like, nah, that's too cheap.
Yeah.
I wish I bought more.
For sure.
Hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020.
'Cause, man, I think at one point this was like 80K or
Oh, 17.
seven.
Around that, yeah.
Yeah. And now it's, I think, around 50, 60K. So, I mean,
Yeah.
not bad, but still, only thing concerning though is the pop. Because when I looked at the pop recently, it's like 9,000 already. So, it's a
Yeah.
lot. Like, it's almost even
Yeah.
a modern card. So, yeah, I'm going to sell this soon.
I sold mine already.
Yeah.
I sold mine already.
I'm getting
So,
a Topps Chrome 2008.
Hmm.
The one that LeBron's guarding Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that card shot up also, but it's down now as well, just like all of the other stuff. So there's a nice buying window for him.
Yep.
The thing kasi that happened then was I splurged. Like I bought so much Kobe. Anything I could get my hands on. I got the EX 2000.
Mm.
Some of the Flair Showcase rookies, and a lot of inserts. I did my research. I looked at what the best cards were, regardless if they were rookies or not. Because in the '90s, like the cards had so much more character. So some of their selling points were like eye appeal alone, and people didn't really care if they were rookies or not. So you could find a lot of undervalued gems, I would say. But then now, hindi na.
It's much harder.
Yeah.
Much harder now.
And it's crazy because that's just a few months ago.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. If you dig that video, please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel. And last but not least, don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any video.